Hello, forever friends and family. Welcome to webinar number 6, Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill. But today is a very special day for everybody who joined us and who did not join us. Anybody knows why?
It's Rex's birthday.
Rex's birthday. Excellent. That's why I would like to start with some our memories and pictures of Rex. I spent today like at least about 40 and 50 minutes or at least 1 hour to navigate through YouTube to watch many pictures. Let me share something with you. Okay, please confirm what do you see. Hold on for a second, please. What do you see on the screen?
Rexmon pictures.
Many of Rexmon picture, right? It was my almost first search and I got bunch of picture like that. You see right here on the screen, Rexmon, 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 some video, hundreds of pictures. And I would like to start to share with you short video from 2021 on May 13, 2021. Let me share proper screen with everybody. Isaac, please confirm. You see Nigel, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, thank you.
I have learned that solid principles and core beliefs do not have a sell by date. It is never old fashioned or out of style to be nice to each other, to honor your commitments, and to treat people how you would wish to be treated. I recognize that many of you might not have heard about our beginnings, as you are new in the company. I am thrilled that you're part of our forever family, but I ask you to be mindful of the foundation upon which this company has been built. Forever was built on the principles of paying the highest bonuses possible, providing the most effective and highest quality of products, and empowering people to serve one another. There are no shortcuts to success in our business. Of course, the speed at which we reach certain levels may vary, but the fundamental principles remain unchanged and will remain unchanged as we continue our journey over the next 4 decades and longer. There will be times when a pathway will open up to you that will tempt you to take a shortcut, to buy a little more product than you may need, to make a purchase in someone else's name, or other ways in which we are tempted to give up what we want most for what we want now. Never forget that you're a part of something special, a business that has been built upon taking the road less traveled. It may not be as fast and as shiny as you might want it to be, but take it from me, the road less traveled is more rich, more wonderful, more fulfilling, and more lasting than you can ever imagine. We love you, we appreciate you, we are proud of you. My name is Rex Mon, and I am forever.
Now you could see pictures of Rexmon, right? And I
Yes.
would like to encourage everybody to share your thoughts of your life after you join Forever, how it changed your life. Who is going to be first one?
I could go first.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all with the products, but then after that, the friends that I made in Forever, including everyone here, has made a big difference in my life. It just made my life more positive, and I'm looking for ways to make myself like better each time. So it made a big impact on me.
Thank you, Arias. Anybody else?
Людмила Семенчик.
Please go ahead.
When I become the Forever Living family, member of the family, and I found out how to fight with any disease for me and my family, because before, every time something happened, you try to go to the doctor to have prescription. And definitely every prescription, every medication have side effect. Right now, no matter what's happened, you know what to do. And you help not only yourself and family, you help the people. And it's all natural, and the company you trust. You know that all the product natural, the juice is natural, and it's 100% true. And it's very important to believe and trust the company. Thank you.
Thank you, Luda. Anybody else? Nadia Ettinger, go ahead, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm just looking at the picture of Rex mom, and so many memories and thoughts when we were on international rallies, and when we see Rex with his love, he loves so much people, and he done so much things for all of us, for whole like world. So many people has been changed life, and for me, for example, I think I changed a lot since I've met like Forever Living. It's my second family. It's no doubt about it. And Rex is a great example. He's one of the greatest men. And whatever he's done with starting his like company, like for me and my family, it's a lot, because like Ludmila said, whenever we need help, a real help, from natural, like from nature, not from go to see doctor. Of course we see doctor, but maybe once a year only. But everything what I need, I found, and I'm doing it. I'm drinking the products, and I love it so much, and I'm so grateful for Rex, what he's done, started company long time ago. He will never be forgetful, because he's one of the greatest men I have ever met, and I love you guys so much. You are my second family, and I'm so happy to have all of you in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you very much. Anybody else? I believe it's time for me to speak up. It was pleasure and honor to meet Rex. First time in 2004 when we joined International Super Rally in San Diego, and we were recognized on the stage on International Rally as a supervisors. It was August 2004, but it was beyond my expectation, our expectation, what is going to next with us from 2004 to 2005. We accomplished level of manager, we became area sales manager, regional sales director, and it was journey and success. And very valuable for us that we met our family. As Nadia mentioned, it's like a second family. all of you who join us today on the webinar, and there are people who are not from our team, but it doesn't matter. We establish very good friendship and relationship with these people. Besides products and besides money, it's absolutely different lifestyle, absolutely different lifestyle. So thank you, Rex. And we were blessed to share one table with Rex many times during international super rally and on our trip as RSD to home office many years, many years. So that's forever family. Okay, let's continue to read, continue our journey to read, to study, and implement the book of the previous century and the book of this century. Think and Grow Rich. Hold on for a second, please. I would like to start to read forward, and then I will continue. I will continue to read my friend and partner Isaac Gilbinovich, supervisor and friend from Brooklyn. Forward. What do you want most? Is it money, fame, power, contentment, personality, peace of mind, happiness? The 13 steps to riches described in this book offer the shortest dependable philosophy of individual achievement ever presented for the benefit of the man or woman who is searching for the definite goal in life. Before beginning the book, you will profit greatly if you recognize the fact that the book was not written to entertain. You cannot digest the contents properly in a week or months. After reading this book through, Dr. Miller is Hutchinson, nationally known consultant, engineer, and long-time associate with Thomas A. Edison, said, the best example of the soundest philosophy is, oops, I skipped part, I'm sorry. This is not a novel. It's a textbook on individual achievement that came directly from the experience of hundreds of Americans' most successful men. So let's continue. I would like to ask continue to read Isaac Gilbinovich. Let me move pages forward. Isaac, please go ahead from this part.
Good evening, everybody. Like the wind which carries one ship east and another west, the law of order suggestion will lift you up or pull you down according to the way you set your sails of thought. The law of autosuggestion, through which any person may rise to altitudes of achievement, which stages, with stage, which stagger the imagination, is well described in the following verse. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you lose, you lose. For out of the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in a state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can even win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Observe the words which have been emphasized, and you will catch the deep meaning which the poet has had in mind. Somewhere in your makeup, perhaps in the cell of your brain, there lies sleeping the seed of achievement, which, if aroused and put into action, would carry you to heights such as you may never have hoped to attain. Just as a master musician may cause the most beautiful strains of music to pour through from the strings of violin, so may you arouse to genius which lies asleep in your brain and cause it to drive you upward to whatever goal you may wish to achieve. Abraham Lincoln was a failure at everything he tried until he was well past the age of 40. He was a Mr. Nobody from nowhere until a great experience came into his life, aroused the sleeping genius within his heart and brain, and gave the world one of its really great men. That experience was mixed with emotions of sorrow and love. It came to him from Anne Rutledge, the only woman whom he ever truly loved. It is a known fact that the emotions of love is closely akin to the state of mind known as faith. And this for the reason that love comes very near to translating one's thought impulses into their spiritual equivalent. During this work of research, the author discovered from the analysis of the life work and achievements of hundreds of men of outstanding accomplishment that there was the influence of a woman's love back of nearly every one of them. The emotion of love in the human heart and brain creates a favorable field of magnetic attraction, which causes an influx of the higher and finer vibrations which are afloat in the ether. If you wish evidence of the power of faith, study the achievements of men and women who have employed it. At the heart of the list comes the Nazarene. Christianity is the greatest single force which influences the minds of men. The basis of Christianity is faith. No matter how many people may have perverted or misinterpreted the meaning of this great force, and no matter how many God men and creeds have been created in its name, which do not reflect its tenets, the sum and substance of the teaching and the achievements of Christ, which may have been interpreted as miracles, were nothing more nor less than faith. If there are any such phenomenon as miracles, they are produced only through the state of mind known as faith. Some teachers of religion and many who call themselves Christians neither understand nor practice faith. Let us consider the power of faith as it is not being demonstrated by a man who is well known to all of civilization, Mahatma Gandhi of India. In this man, the world has one of the most astounding examples known to civilization of the possibilities of faith. Gandhi wields more potential power than any man living at this time, and this despite the fact that he has none of the orthodox tools of power, such as money, battleships, soldiers, and materials of warfare. Gandhi has no money. He has no home. He does not own a suit or clothes, but he has more power, but he does have power. How does he come by this power? He created it out of his understanding of the principle of faith and through his ability to transplant that faith into minds of 200 million people. Gandhi has accomplished through the influence of faith that much the strongest military power on earth could not, and never will accomplish through soldiers and military equipment. He has accomplished the astounding feat of influencing 200 million minds to coalesce and move in unison as a single mind. What other force on earth except faith could do as much? There will come a day when employees as well as employers will discover the possibilities of faith. That day is dawning. The whole world has had ample opportunities during the recent business depression to witness what the lack of faith will do to businesses. Surely,
Isaac,
civilization.
thank you. Take a break, please. Thanks for your reading. I would like to ask continue to read. Friend and partner and the most reliable manager from New Jersey, Iris Christopher. Please go ahead, Iris.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Alex. Surely, civilization has produced a sufficient number of intelligent human beings to make use of this great lesson which the Depression has taught the world. During this Depression, the world had evidence in abundance that widespread fear will paralyze the wheels of industry and business. Out of this experience will arise leaders in business and industry who will profit by the example which Gandhi has set forth for the world. And they will apply to business the same tactics which he has used in building the greatest following known in the history of the world. These leaders will come from the rank and file of unknown men who now labor in the steel plants, the coal mines, the automobile factories, and in the small towns and cities of America. Business is due for a reform. Make no mistake about this. The methods of the past, based upon economic combination of force and fear, will be supplanted by the better principles of faith and cooperation. Men who labor will receive more than daily wages. They will receive dividends from the business, the same as those who supplied the capital for business. But first, they must give more to their employers and stop this bickering and bargaining by force at the expense of the public. They must earn the right to dividends. Moreover, and this is the most important thing of all, they will be led by leaders who will understand and apply the principles employed by Mahatma Gandhi. Only in this way may leaders get from their followers the spirit of full cooperation, which constitutes power in its highest and most enduring. This stupendous machine, age in which we live, and from which we are just emerging, has taken the soul out of men. Its leaders have driven men as though they were pieces of cold machinery. They were forced to do so by the employees who have bargained at the expense of all concerned to get and not to give. The watchword of the future will be human happiness and contentment. And when this state of mind shall have been attained, the production will take care of itself more effectively than anything that has ever been accomplished, where men did not and could not mix faith and individual interest with their labor. Because of the need for faith and cooperation in operating business and industry, it will be both interesting and profitable to analyze an event which provide an excellent understanding of the method by which industrialists and businessmen accumulate great fortunes by giving before they try to get. The event chosen for this illustration dates back to 1900 when the United States Steel Corporation was being formed. As you read the story, keep in mind these fundamental facts and you will understand how ideas have been converted into huge fortunes. First, the huge United States Steel Corporation was born in the mind of Charles M. Schwab in the form of an idea he created through his imagination. Second, he makes faith with this idea. Third, he formulated a plan for the transformation of his idea into physical and financial reality. Fourth, he put his plan into action with his famous speech at the University Club. Fifth, he applied and followed through in his plan with persistence and backed it with firm decision until it has been fully carried out. Sixth, he prepared the way for success by a burning desire for success. If you are one of those who have often wondered how great fortunes are accumulated, the story of the creation of the United States Steel Corporation will be enlightening. If you have any doubt that men can think and grow rich, this story should dispel that doubt. Because you can plainly see in the story of the United States Steel the application of major portion of the 13 principles described in this book.
Arya, thank you very much for your reading. Please take a break. I would like us continue to read my friend and partner, assistant supervisor from Brooklyn, Zoya Sergey. Zoya, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. This astounding description of the power of an idea was dramatically told by John Lowell in the New York World Telegram, with whose courtesy it is here reprinted. A pretty after-dinner speech for $1 billion. When on the evening of December the 12th, 1900, some 80 of the nation's financial nobility gathered in the banquet hall of the University Club on the Fifth Avenue to do honor to a young man from out of the West. Not half a dozen of the guests realized they were to witness the most significant episode in American industrial history. J. Edward Simmons and Charles Stewart Smith, their hearts full of gratitude for the lavish hospitality bestowed on them by Charles M. Schwab during a recent visit to Pittsburgh, had arranged the dinner to introduce the 38-year-old steel man to Eastern banking society. But they didn't expect him to stampede the conversation. They want him, in fact, that the bosoms within New York's staffed shirts would not be responsive to oratory, and that if he didn't want to bore the Steelhans and Harrismans and Vanderbilts, he had better limit himself to 15 or 20 minutes of polite vaporings and let it go at that. Even John Pierpont Morgan, sitting on the right hand of Schwab, as became his imperial dignity, intended to grace the banquet table with his presence only briefly. And so far as the press and the public were concerned, the whole affair was of so little moment that no mention of it found its way into print the next day. So the two hosts and their distinguished guests ate their way through the usual 7 or 8 courses. There was little conversation, and what there was of it was restrained. Few of the bankers and brokers had met Schwab, whose career had flowered along the banks of Monongahela, and none knew him well. But before the evening was over, they, and with them Money Master Morgan, were to be swept off their feet, and $1 billion baby, the United States Steel Corporation, was to be conceived. It is perhaps unfortunate for the sake of history that no record of Charlie Schwab's speech at the dinner ever was made. He repeated some parts of it at a later date during a similar meeting of Chicago bankers. And still later, when the government brought suit to dissolve the Steel Trust, he gave his own version from the witness stand of the remarks that stimulated Morgan into a frenzy of financial activity. It is probable, however, that it was a homely speech, somewhat ungrammatical, for the nicest of language never bothered Schwab, full of epigram and threaded with wit. But aside from that, it had a galvanic force and effect upon the $5 billion of estimated capital that was represented by the diners. After it was over and gathering was still under its spell, although Schwab had talked for 90 minutes, Morgan led the orator to a recessed window where, dangling their legs from the high, uncomfortable seat, they talked for an hour more. The magic of the Schwab personality had been turned on full force, but what was more important and lasting was the full-fledged, clear-cut program he laid down for the aggrandizement of steel. Many other men had tried to interest Morgan in slapping together a steel trust after the pattern of the biscuit, wire and hoop, sugar, rubber, whiskey, oil, or chewing gum combinations. John W. Gates, the gambler, had urged it, but Morgan distrusted him. The Moore boys, Bill and Jim, Chicago stock jobbers who had glued together a match trust and a cracker corporation, had urged it and failed. Albert H. Gary, the sanctimonious country lawyer, wanted to foster it, but he wasn't big enough to be impressive. Until Schwab's eloquence took J.P. Morgan to the heights from which he could visualize the solid results of the most daring financial undertaking ever conceived, the project was regarded as a delirious dream of easy money crackpots. The financial magnetism that began a generation ago to attract thousands of small and sometimes inefficiently managed companies into large and competition-crushing combinations had become operative in the steel world through the devices of the jovial business pirate John W. Gates. Gates already had formed the American Steel and Wire Company out of a chain of small concerns, and together with Morgan had created the Federal Steel Company. The National Tube and the American Bridge companies were two more Morgan concerns, and the Moore brothers had forsaken the match and cookie business to form the American Group, Tin Plate, Steel Hoop, Sheet Steel, and the National Steel Company. But by the side of Andrew Carnegie's gigantic vertical trust, a trust owned and operated by 53 partners, those are the combinations where Picayune they might combine to their heart's content, but the whole lot of them couldn't make a dent in the Carnegie organization, and Morgan knew it. The eccentric old Scot knew it too. From the magnificent heights of Skibo Castle, he had viewed first with amusement and then with resentment the attempts of Morgan's smaller companies to cut into his business. When the attempts became too bold, the Carnegie's temper was translated into anger and retaliation. He decided to duplicate every mill owned by his rivals. He thought he didn't been interested in wire, pipe, hoops, or sheet. Instead, he was content to sell such companies the raw steel and let them work it into whatever shape they wanted. Now, with Schwab as his chief and able lieutenant, he planned to drive his enemies to the wall. So it was that in the speech of Charles M. Schwab, Morgan saw the answer to his problem of combination. A trust without Carnegie, giant of them all, would be no trust at all, a plum pudding, as one writer said, without the plums. Schwab's speech on the night of December 12, 1900, undoubtedly carried the inference, though not the pledge, that the vast Carnegie enterprise could be brought under the Morgan tent. He talked of the world future for steel, of reorganization for efficiency, of specialization, of the scrapping of unsuccessful mills and concentration of effort on the flourishing properties of economies in the ore traffic, of economies in overhead and administrative departments, of capturing foreign markets. More than that, he told the buccaneers among them wherein lay the errors of their customary piracy. Their purposes, he inferred, had been to create monopolies, raise prices, and pay themselves fat dividends out of privilege. Schwab condemned the system in his hardest manner. The short-sightedness of such a policy, he told his hearers, lay in the fact that it restricted the market in an area when everything cried for expansion. By cheapening the cost of steel, he argued, an ever-expanded market could be created. More uses for steel would be devised, and a goodly portion of the world trade could be captured. Actually, though he did not know it, Schwab was an apostle of modern mass production. So the dinner at the university club came to an end. Morgan went home to think about Schwab's rosy predictions. Schwab went back to Pittsburgh to run the steel business for Andrew Carnegie, while Gary and the rest went back to their stock tickets to fiddle around in anticipation of the next move. It was not long coming. It took Morgan about 1 week to digest the feast of reason Schwab had placed before him. When he had assured himself that no financial indigestion was to result, he sent to Schwab and found that young man rather coy. Mr. Carnegie, Schwab's indicated, might not like it if he found his trusted company president had been flirting with the Emperor of Wall Street, the street upon which Carnegie was resolved never to tread. Then it was suggested by John W. Gates, the go-between, that if Schwab happened to be in the Bellevue Hotel in Philadelphia, J.P. Morgan might also happen to be there. When Schwab arrived, however, Morgan was unconventionally ill at his New York home, and so on the elder man's pressing invitation, Schwab went to New York and presented himself at the door of the financier's library. Now, certain economic historians have professed the belief that from the beginning to the end of the drama, the stage was set by Andrew Carnegie, that the dinner to Schwab, the famous speech, the Sunday night conference between Schwab and the money king were events arranged by the canny Scott. The truth is exactly the opposite. When Schwab was called it to consummate the deal, he didn't even know whether the little boss, as Andrew was called, would so much as listen to an offer to sell, particularly to a group of men whom Andrew regarded as being endowed with something less than holiness. But Schwab did take into conference with him, in his own handwriting, 6 sheets of copperplate figures representing, to his mind, the physical worth and the potential earning capacity of every steel company he regarded as an essential star in the new metal firmament.
Zoe, thank you very much for your reading. Let's stop here. We will continue to read this book. Next time, we consume a lot of information, and like in the previous pages, we have to digest this information, not just read it. And this webinar is recorded, and you could review it as many times as you wish to. Any questions so far? Very, very intriguing subject of this story between Charles Schwab and King of Money, Morgan Stanley. We will find out a lot of information about the situation, how Charles Schwab developed his company. And I would like to continue, and I would like to share with you some information. Not information, it's a fun part of this, our webinar. I continue after X advice. If you do FLP business and you don't have fun, you're doing something wrong. So let me share something with you. Stay with me for a minute. Let me share some screen, and I would like to confirm with you. What do you see on the screen right now? And let's watch something. What do you see?
The American Has Talent or some talent show?
Yes.
Okay.
American Great Talent. Let's watch it. Enjoy.
Hello. Hello. What is the name of your group? We are Avantgarde from Japan. Oh, welcome. Welcome to America. Is this your first time in America? Yes. A lot of people have said when they've come for the first time, they love the burgers over here. Have you been eating burgers since you got here?
来てからバーガーが美味しいっていう人が多いんですけど、皆さんも食べてましたか？
もちろん食べました。
Of course we ate burgers.
Okay, I'm guessing this is a dance group?
これダンスグループですよね。
Yes. What makes you guys different than other dance groups that we've seen before?
なぜこのダンスグループは他と比べて違うんですか？
日本の魂を詰め込んだオリジナルダンスをします。
Because we have an original dance piece filled with the Japanese soul.
Well, the stage is yours. I wish you good luck. Thank you.
I like them.
Yes, we had lost the fight before I saw the salt and breast. Missed some such
just cause I've heard no, it's not right. I don't try, how can we not feel jealous while being around? It's an urge in our eyes, so can I forgive you for that? Completely deny every future that I cite myself, nobody will allow. I wouldn't know anyone, it's not as strong as a wall. That emotion sees the heart's worshiping you. Yes, indeed, it's so strong, it's you. Unrivaled idol, there cannot be weaknesses to find. The brightest star is residing in you. The gaps and shortcomings don't show and damn it parts. Nobody wants to know, should remain hidden. One and only, if it's different, knowing touch of true love is the realest type. I work all night, I work all day to pay the bills I have to pay. Ain't it sad? And still there never seems to be a single penny left for me. That's too bad. In my dreams, I have a plan. If I got me a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work at all. I'd fool around and have a ball.
Very
Great
entertaining.
performance.
Yeah,
I hope everybody had fun, right?
very
Yes,
entertaining. Yeah.
So
wonderful, beautiful.
thank you, Rex. Thank you, readers, Isaac, Zoya, and Iris. And I would like to wish you healthy and happy Thanksgiving just in a few days. 3 more days and we will celebrate one of the most favorite holiday in United States of America. Happy and healthy Thanksgiving to all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks
Thank
a
you so
lot.
much.
Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Best
holidays.
wishes.
Happy holiday.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.